Right, Saturday, 3 p.m, Chelsea are back at the Bridge as we take on Inter Milan in the final of our pre-season friendlies. The Chelsea fans get their first opportunity to become acquainted with Enzo Maresca, and I cannot wait for this game. So in this video, we are going to break down the game. We're going to speak about Inter Milan. We're going to give our starting lineup picks, and we're going to give a score prediction. And why am I saying we? Because I am joined by the big dog, Josh Aveste. Have a look at... Oh, he's kissing the badge. He's kissing the badge. Let's hope you don't do a Mason Mount. Kiss the badge and then, turn your back on us.
How dare I? Couldn't do that possibly.
Josh...
It's a nice kit, isn't it?
It's a lovely, lovely kit. And not only is it a lovely kit, my friend, you've got two of them.
I have. Very kindly thanks to you. You bought me one ready for LA, because I don't know if you've told these guys, but we have just come back from LA. No big deal.
I don't like to brag about it, mate. It's not a big deal. Do you know what I mean?
We don't keep going on about it. We don't keep going on that we've met Vince Vaughn and Eminem,
personal friends with Vince Vaughn.
Mike
not a big
Tyson.
Deal.
No, we don't talk. We don't go on about it.
Oh,
honestly.
what? Stone's throw from Mike Tyson?
Yeah, don't worry.
In fact, not even a stone's throw, probably one of them weighted balls you see me training with in the gym. Yeah.
Can you describe what you did in LA just quickly for the guys, if they don't know?
Probably not really.
What did you get up to in LA? Be honest.
What didn't I get up to in LA? I did, these lot love a bit of Love Island.
Yeah.
We did convince some American girls that I was on season 2 of Love Island.
So let me know in the comments who you think Joey's Love Island copycat is. Who do you think he's the most similar to? Because the one that you chose wouldn't be the one that I would have chosen.
No, I could have picked someone, but you got to be sharp with these things.
I think you're more
So,
Jake Cornish than you are Terry.
You're my girlfriend.
You're Amy.
You're my girlfriend.
He's fighting this weekend, Jake Cornish.
He boxed on Misfits.
He's fighting on the KSI card.
Yeah, he boxed on Misfits. Tell you, I was boxed on Misfits.
Who?
Little known YouTuber.
Oh yeah,
a YouTuber with I think what's he got?
How many subs? How many subs?
100,000.
Whoa! I was going to bring some party poppers. Can you bring party popper effects? He's only gone and done it, chaps. Thank you to every single one of you that has come and joined this channel, because he's only gone and got 100,000. Look at this smug bastard. You said you were going to do it by the end of pre-season, and you've done it a week early.
No, I said for the start of the season.
There you go.
I didn't even think I was going to get there at one point, but persevered. And 100,000.
Congratulations, though, mate.
That is mental.
It's a fucking unbelievable achievement. 18 months down, you've built an unbelievable community of all these chaps watching us.
When you first came into the studio,
I know how many subs you had. Do you know how many it was?
I don't know, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Should we guess?
I know how much it was, so you guess.
25,000.
No.
More? Less?
Less.
Less?
Yeah, less.
15,000.
I think you had 16 when I first came, my first session.
That's mad.
Yeah.
You first came at 16.
I did. Well, a bit earlier than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't ask for your one, Jay, because your one was about when you were about 5.
You got filthy minds, you lot. Yeah, me.
No, huge congratulations, mate. You've earned it. That's a huge milestone.
Yeah.
And now we're on to the next one, though, aren't we?
Mate, I'm about to turn 30, right? And obviously, I'd done little bits and pieces and whatever, but that is one thing. Hitting the 100k mark before the start of the season was important to me, but obviously the start of the season is like a week after my 30th. Hitting it before my 30th is unreal, because obviously this little journey that we've been on is just mental. And I'm going to hold my hands up. I'd have been so disappointed if none of this had happened and then I had to turn 30, because it sounds really cringe, but I always thought growing up, I'm going to do something that I can be proud of. And I probably got to 27. And I'd done quite well in the old unlicensed boxing and whatnot. And, done a ton of shagging, but... I'm joking.
No, it's on the CV. He's literally got down labourer, shagger, recruitment.
CV, it's on the LinkedIn. Where do you think I pulled them off? No, I'm joking. So, if none of this had happened, I reckon I would have turned 30 a little bit unfulfilled.
Yeah.
But now I'm very fulfilled.
Well, let's list your accomplishments. 100,000 subs, going to be a future Misfits champion. is probably the most well-known Chelsea commentator out there.
Hold on, can you zoom the camera out because my head's just getting a little bit bigger as you're going here. No,
You've
it's all
done
good
well,
stuff.
mate.
Should we talk about a bit of Chelsea?
Do we have to?
Oh,
I'm just
go on
enjoying
then.
giving you your
Go on
credits.
then. I'll take it, mate. Keep it coming. Keep it rolling in. Right, I'm going to read you a little list here.
Okay.
This is a little pre-season checklist. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Gaining fitness,
Yeah.
bedding in new signings, avoiding injuries, bonding. Not
Bonding.
Not that type. Not that type. Not that type. Although they can do that.
Yeah, if
that's
in their own time, they're more than
whatever you
welcome
do
to.
behind closed doors.
Yeah, we don't
None
mind.
of my business.
Yeah.
Unless your name's Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
Joking.
Or Adam Johnson.
Oh, God. That was in a car. So, completely off track here. Bonding, experimenting with tactics.
Bonding and experimenting.
Yeah, you're always experimenting when you're bonding. Experimenting with tactics. Trying out new positions. God, this is what I haven't
Have you
even
written this?
mate. I
You
haven't
wrote
even
this?
done this. Right. Anyway, so there you go. There's the list.
Yeah.
Is any of the things I just named more important than winning games?
Has any of that actually happened? I think we haven't got any injuries, but beyond that, I'm not sure.
Judging by Chili's DMs, I'm sure there's been a bit of bonding and experimenting going on.
I think it's funny, isn't it? Because let's go one by one. I don't know if we've gained loads of fitness.
We must have gained a little bit of fitness.
I think we gained a little bit, but there's a lot of people out there, a lot of journos saying that we still look a bit slow.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. Yeah, we're learning the system, fair enough.
Betting in new signings.
We're betting in new signings.
I think we can give him that. I think old KDH has looked pretty good.
He's played about half the minutes, hasn't he? That he was available to.
Well, he's come back from injury, mate. And then hold on.
Tosin hasn't played that much.
Hold on. Avoiding injury.
Yeah. We haven't had any serious injuries, thank God. And some of those pitches that we were playing on were not good.
Mate.
So we've done well to avoid any injuries, to be
You know the old phrase, if there's grass on the pitch, play ball?
Yeah.
Some of those pitches, I wouldn't have played ball.
You've really gone too far with these analogies.
What are you thinking
need
of?
to stop.
There's grass on the pitch, play ball.
We're lucky we had grass on some of those pitches, to be honest with you, because it was pretty poor.
Yeah.
So are results more important? I don't think results are that important in pre-season, to be fair. What was the year in which we lost every single game and we still were absolutely exquisite? Was it 2010
or something like
10,
that?
11?
Actually, done a little bit of prep last night.
What, you prep for these podcasts?
You make a joke of it. Very, very rarely do I, but sometimes I do. And obviously, at the moment, I'm still on like LA hours.
Yeah.
So I'm just
God.
up all night at the minute.
Yeah.
However, last night I had a banging night's sleep. To be fair,
Did you?
because I was on the old CBD oil,
Oh.
and we'll speak about that in a minute.
Wait a second. You using
CBD
CBD,
oil?
are you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Doesn't
What?
even cost an arm and a leg either.
Where can you get it
Pretty
from?
cheap. Supreme CBD.
Where would you be able to click, though, if you were wanting to purchase some of that stuff?
Well, what you could do is you could get the yellow pages out.
Yeah.
You could find out them, or you could go on Company House. You could do all that. You could type them into Google, one letter at a time. That's way more than one click, though, isn't it? www. Blah, 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 blah. It's just a ball ache, isn't it?
It's a faff.
So I don't think people would want to do that.
Yeah.
So it's just a bit long, really. Oh, no. Come to think of it, you could just click the link in
there
the
is a pretty
description to
easy
this
link,
video.
to be fair.
There's a link.
Yeah. And it would support you if they did click that link.
Support me, support the channel.
There you go.
Support themselves.
I mean,
having a nice...
arguably selfish if they don't use it.
Selfish.
Shellfish.
Shellfish.
When you get the yellow pages, do you have to move your camera setup to get it out? You know, because you've got the camera on the yellow pages.
Well, you know the yellow pages, as obviously it's like a thing of the past now.
Yeah.
Which
is a shame.
I'm thinking after that trip to LA, anyone that saw the pictures has probably seen the height disparity. I'm thinking next time out I'll bring a couple of yellow pages.
Yeah, one on each foot.
Yeah, one on each foot. Stand on them. Still be half the size of Brian and
Talking
the rest
of
of you
selfish
boys.
people, they are very selfish being that tall, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Well, you know.
It's not fair.
You know.
We'll sort you out for the next
God
trip.
had to give them some advantages over me. Hey?
Well, you've got the chat, haven't you?
Yeah. Well,
We saw that.
I'm pretty sure Brian's got the chat. I'm pretty sure all the boys got the chat. What do you mean we saw that? Hold on, Ren might be watching. Right.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Fun and games.
So, little story that I was prepping last night for you, right?
Okay.
After winning the Premier League in his second spell at Chelsea Football Club, Jose Mourinho's team headed off as champions for pre-season, right? First game, we beat Thailand All-Stars.
That's a difficult game, that is.
That is a difficult game. Who was your favourite player that would have played in that match?
Oh God, there's just so many to name. To be honest with you, I'd struggle to pick one that I'd say is the best one.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. We beat them 1-0.
Yeah.
Okay. Little bit of trivia. If you get this, I swear to God, academy graduate. If you get the goal scorer for that match, 250
What year
quid.
did you say?
What year would that
Jose
be?
Mourinho's second stint, did you say?
Second stint. So it was the team that had like Diego Costa in, Cesc Fabregas. But before we get into all that, I just want to take this opportunity to enlighten you, Mr. Josh Abeste. We all know that sometimes I can have a little bit of a mental block when I'm prepping, when I'm on the computer. I prefer the talking. One thing I've been using lately that has helped me is this little bad boy.
What is that?
And that is my Supreme Life Lion's Mane.
What's Lion's Mane?
So lion's mane is actually a form of mushroom, and the Chinese use it for medicine. I sat down the other day. I took one of my lion's mane capsules. I had a few notes to make, and I had about one video to prep for, right? It's usually going to take me about half hour. Within 20 minutes, I had prepped for 3 videos. My focus was off the charts. I'm taking them in capsule form at the moment, once, 3 times a day. I know a lot of people that struggle with taking paracetamol, things like that, tablets. If you're not into it, they don't just do it in capsule form. They do it in drops. They do it in gummy bears. We all like a gummy bear, don't we?
What, so basically a sweetie? You can have a sweetie?
Basically a sweetie.
Weren't you talking about your recovery as well when you're training?
I'm actually using the Supreme CBD for my recovery. When I come home from the gym, it's very hard to unwind and just chill. So I just take a couple of drops, actually. Not only does it give me a perfect night's sleep, right? But just like stress levels, anxiety, it can sound a bit silly, but just being a little bit better mentally equipped to take on the day.
And there's no THC in any of that. So
No
you're
THC.
not getting high or
No,
anything.
you're not getting high.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
THC. THC is what would get you high. Yeah. Whereas this just relaxes your body, soothes your mind, just gets you in a really good mental place.
What about inflammation and things like that? Do you reckon it sort of like cools you down, like you deal with recovery better?
It does it all.
Yeah.
It does it all. I've actually got a link in the description to this video. That will take you to their website, but you know what else it will do?
I've heard there's a discount involved.
Mate, they care about our mind, body, and soul, and that is why 40% off Supreme CBD or Supreme Life products with the link in my description.
Scott Sinclair.
Team? Oh, you guessed too early. So now there's no
quid on it.
Now,
okay,
now there's no 250 quid on it.
Okay, that's a shame.
Okay, but
I thought I had that then.
But
Okay.
I'll give you one more guess.
Okay.
And I'll tell you something now. He's a striker.
Okay.
And he's one of the best that the league has to offer.
Solanke.
Yeah, Solanke.
See, that would have been too easy. I didn't deserve 250 quid for that.
No.
But I nearly got it on the first one. That was close. I bet Scott Sinclair was involved in that tour.
He probably would have been.
Yeah.
He's still playing, you know, Scott Sinclair.
Where is he playing now?
Fuck knows, but I see it the other day. He's still playing.
Is he in the Championship?
No, he's still playing somewhere. There was a few of these players.
Isn't it Celtic, is it still?
No. But there's a few of these players that are still playing now who surprised me. Like Scott Sinclair's still playing. Santi Cazorla is playing 3rd tier Spanish football. Or
Santi Cazorla, famous Chelsea connection with him.
Who, Santi Cazorla?
Yeah, why are you bringing up Santi Cazorla?
No, I'm just saying. Like old footballers that I forgot were still playing. Anyway, then the next match in that pre-season tour, right, we beat Sydney FC 1-0. Again, 1-0 over Thailand All-Stars and 1-0 over Sydney FC. Not a great result. No. We then lost 4-2 to New York Red Bulls. Now, I don't know anything about New York Red Bulls apart from the fact that Thierry Henry played for them. But Thierry Henry wasn't playing that game. And everyone said that New York Red Bulls put out their B team for that game. Wow. They beat us 4-2. Then we drew 1-0 with PSG. Then we drew 2-2 with Barcelona, or Barcelona, I think it's pronounced. Barcelona. Then we lost 1-0 to Fiorentina, who I grew up thinking it was Florentina.
Yeah, well, it's easily.
I think
done.
most people
It's
did,
easily
isn't it?
done. Yeah,
Easily
absolutely.
done. Fiorentina.
Most famous Fiorentina player that you can remember from your past?
Most famous Fiorentina player.
For me?
You'd probably go Mutu.
Batistuta.
Yeah. He was decent, but Mutu.
Mutu was better, cut above.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mutu could always sniff out a good chance.
He could. He liked a bit of fun. Adrian Mutu
liked
did.
to break the lines.
He did.
There you go.
Whatever happened? I wonder what's happened to him. Do you reckon he's a coach somewhere right now?
Sorry, a what?
A coach.
A coach. Don't know. I'd imagine he's probably in someone's kitchen somewhere talking a load of shit. You know I play for Chelsea. Right, okay. So after that loss, Jose Mourinho said, pre-season is fake for good and for bad.
Yeah.
If you are very bad, it's fake. And if you are very good, it's fake.
Okay.
What happened to Chelsea that season?
What's his lesson from that?
Well, Chelsea finished 10th that season. And I believe it was the worst ever defence of a Premier League title. Did Liverpool do worse than that?
No, not
no,
they didn't finish worse than 10th.
They didn't. Let me give you another story, though.
Yeah.
To give you a little
I do love a story.
little bit of encouragement here.
Yeah.
Right. Spurs.
Why are we bringing them into
I
this?
just want to get because this one's a feel. this one has a feel good element to it. Unless you're a Spurs fan. Okay. So 08-09.
Yeah.
They've gone and got one day Ramos, former Real Madrid
manager.
Huge manager. Accomplished, huge manager. They played a side. They went on Spain for their first bit of their pre-season tour. They played a side, probably butchering the name, Tavernes. You ever heard of them?
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them? No, neither have I. Anyway, they beat them. They beat them 8-0.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that is literally probably an amateur side.
Well, you know,
fair enough. Got to beat him.
You got to beat
Only
them.
beat who was in front of you.
You got to beat them. They're probably not as good as Wrexham, to be fair.
No.
Then they faced a Spanish team called Denia.
Wow, I would deny her.
Yeah. Denia. They won that 4-2, right?
Yeah.
But then they started to step up the competition because they flew back to England and they beat both Norwich and Leyton Orient 5-1 respectively.
You're not impressing me with these teams so far.
Most famous Leyton Orient fan?
Leyton Orient fan?
Yeah. You get compared to him a lot.
Eddie Hearn?
Yeah.
Is he Leyton Orient fan?
His dad owned it. So
okay.
Anyway, they beat Leyton Orient and Norwich 5-1 respectively. They then beat Celtic 2-0. Yeah.
Okay.
They then beat Dortmund 3-0.
Yeah.
Okay, starting to impress you a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, Dortmund are the only big team so far.
That Celtic team, 08-09,
No.
decent team.
No.
They won the league, mate.
Yeah. They win the league most times, to be fair.
Right, okay. Well, let me give you this one. Roma, 08-09, were a decent team. No one's telling me that they weren't a decent team.
Was Totti still there then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They finished runners-up in Serie A that season.
Yeah.
Pretty sure when I think about it, 08-09, does that mean they would have finished runners-up to Jose's Inter?
Probably, yeah.
They probably would have, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
I don't know. You lot could disprove me, but I think they probably would have.
Okay.
Right? So they come up against Roma. By the way, they didn't only finish runners-up in Serie A that season. They did the domestic double. So the 2 Italian trophies available, they won them. Spurs beat Roma 5-0.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So that's their pre-season. And at this point, right, the bookmakers are thinking, fuck me, one day Ramos, he's cooking something here, right? Because they'd just gone on this brilliant run. And they had actually been backed in by the bookmakers to get a top 4 finish at that point, you know, right?
Where did they finish?
He was sacked one day, Ramos, by October with Spurs in the relegation zone.
In the relegation zone?
In the
I
relegation
don't remember that.
zone.
Fuck.
There you go.
Wow. So, long story short,
Yeah.
pre-season doesn't matter at all.
Well, if Chelsea had been smashing it in pre-season, what I would have done last night is I would have got some research.
You would have got the complete
I'd have got the
opposite.
complete opposite,
Yeah.
right? And maybe it's just very Spursy. But I suppose what that shows you is there's cases for both, isn't there? And maybe it does matter, maybe it doesn't matter. But from what you have seen in pre-season so far, the first question I want to ask you, do you feel like you've seen more encouragement from Enzo Maresca's pre-season than you did from Pochettino's pre-season?
See, this is a very interesting question because I looked back on some of those games that Pochettino had in pre-season, and we were playing some exquisite football.
Should we give them the results just quickly?
Yeah, please do.
5-0 against Wrexham, 4-3 against Brighton, 1-0 against Newcastle, 2-0 against Fulham, 1-1 against Borussia
Unbeaten.
Dortmund. Invincible, some would say. Invincible, some may say.
Do you know what? Arguably a better achievement than the Invincibles.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Other teams. So I think we looked at individual performances in that, and we saw Nicholas Jackson looking absolutely exquisite. Christopher Nkunku, pre-injury, looking like he was going to be the world beater that we all thought he was going to be.
In that game against Fulham, didn't he? That was really good injury.
Gutting. Yeah, got that, and then he was out for the rest of the season. Fulham.
Remember that when he goes, "My dad saw me play against Fulham."
I do.
What was his name?
I can't remember.
Santiago.
Oh,
Santiago.
Santiago. Hey.
Yeah.
What a film that is.
A great film.
Yeah, great film.
Great film.
And then we had Ian Matson out looking absolutely exquisite, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, overall, last pre-season, to answer your question, was considerably better than this pre-season. We actually looked like we had a settled system. We looked like we had almost a settled side by the end of it as well. It was very encouraging, but what happened after that?
Went to fucking pot once the Premier League started, didn't it?
Yeah, we were what, in 10th by 8 games into that season. I mean, arguably Pochettino lost the entire season and arguably got sacked within 10 games.
Yeah.
So it tells you a lot about that. So maybe if we're looking at pattern recognition, maybe this will be the opposite way now and we'll start flying. The key game is that Man City game, isn't it?
I think one of the things that wasn't exposed in the pre-season with Chelsea, and when you look at that, we got 3 goals put past us by Brighton, but we scored 4 in that game. But apart from that, Wrexham didn't score against us, Fulham didn't score against us, and Newcastle and Dortmund only scored 1 apiece against us.
Yeah.
So one of the things that wasn't exposed in that pre-season under Pochettino was our inept ability to deal with the low block. Because who plays a fucking low block in pre-season? That's so boring, isn't it? Like, it's so boring. You'd rather just get smashed 5-0 than play a low block in pre-season.
So true.
Then you go into the Premier League and things actually matter. Teams start playing low block against us. It took us a long time to figure that out. Yeah. So I believe that it may be way more beneficial that our vulnerable or our main area of vulnerability has been exposed in this pre-season, because I would say our main area of vulnerability at the moment is that we are the line's a little bit too high. I think a lot's being made of that high line thing, and actually your one for average positions it's not actually as high as people are saying, is it?
And it's interesting because Maresca said something about this as well. He was saying that the players need to drop off, and what the journos are saying about this is that it's not drop off in general, it's drop off at certain moments. Like when the press is broken, our boys need to drop in. But you're right, we aren't incredibly high. I think what is exposed is that we've got a fairly weak defence, and that isn't a Maresca issue. That's an issue from last season. We conceded the most goals we've ever conceded in the Premier League last season. So it's not a Maresca issue. He's having to inherit a problem in which he's got to solve.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a system issue per se, although I do think there are errors in the back three. And I think also sometimes the passing is poor. And I think we should sometimes just lump it forward. And in fact, a lot of Leicester fans are saying they did that quite a lot in the Championship and it caused a lot of goals.
Passed out from the back?
Basically passed it far too close to the goal.
Yeah.
And we're losing it far too close to the goal. And then when we lose it close to the goal, they score.
However, can I just say, that isn't... It might be a Maresca thing, but we saw that last season all the time.
Well, this is the thing.
Even off the top of my head, it just springs to my mind, and a player that I really rated last season. Do you remember Caicedo against Man United when he tried to pass back to Buddy Ashil?
Yeah.
There was loads of them.
There was loads of them. I mean, Disassi in that cup game wasn't against Leicester. Yeah. So there were actually quite a few of those passes back, and that's the modern game.
Then I suppose he wasn't actually specifically talking about that. It was, if you take it as he was talking about the defence as a whole, that then actually does give a bit of credit to what Enzo Maresca was saying.
Yeah, I mean. It does, but we need to solve this issue pretty quickly, because if we don't, we're going to go into the season, we're going to concede a load of goals and we're going to lose games.
Well, I think one of the main things you mentioned there was pace. Yeah, if you're going to play a high-ish sort of line, like look, the high line often leaves Spurs exposed, but it would leave Spurs a lot more exposed if they didn't have Van der Ven, who's fucking rapid. Yeah. So I think that you need pace in your defence. Okay. When we get on to our starting lineups, which we're going to in a second, I think at a glance you might look at mine and be like, "Hold on, what are you doing?" But then you might think, "Oh, okay, I see where he's going with this. I see where he's going." Method behind the madness. So anyway, let's get on to positives from pre-season.
Yeah, go on. Can we just do individual players to start off with? How about that?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
I love that.
Yeah, so I think Lavia's been exquisite this pre-season.
He's been good.
Do you know he's played every minute of pre-season? Well, sorry, started every game in pre-season.
Yeah.
That's very surprising, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what's not surprising?
Come.
Kind of feel like I predicted this whole Lavia
Rewind
thing.
it back. What did you say?
When we signed Romeo Lavia, I was like, I've been watching him for a while, right?
Oh, you've been watching him.
Extensive research.
Yeah.
But
How long for? When did you start watching him? 14, 15?
honest answer,
Yeah, go on.
when he scored the goal against us. I didn't really know who he was before that match, but then he scored that goal against us.
He looked fucking good
They
in that
beat us
game.
that day as well,
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah,
Yeah,
they
I think
did.
we took the lead through Sterling.
Good memory.
I think
If
it was
that's true.
Sterling. Yeah, I think it was
I can't
Sterling.
remember.
And Romeo Lavia scored a fucking
Got a fucking good
screamer.
memory for a boxer you have.
Yeah. Not for long. Keep getting my head punched in. And again, could be worse. Could be valid for sharks, failing brain scans. Anyway, let's not get into that. So Romeo Lavia, I started watching him around that time. Then I was watching him a lot. And then I started watching him intensely when we started getting linked to him, right? Yeah. And everyone's talking about him as this defensive midfielder that's going to come in and he's going to be able to cut things out, blah, blah, blah. And they were right to do so. But one thing that people were not speaking about enough, anywhere near enough, by the way, is the creativity.
Yeah.
Because the creativity,
Passing has been
the passing
insane.
ability, the vision, the balls over the top, the range of passing, it's absolutely
And it's not
unreal.
sideways, is it? It's all. There are some really incisive breaking the lines, as Adrian Mutu would do. Forward passes, and you have to say, he for me is by far and away the best player of pre-season.
Okay,
I think by far he's the best player.
possibly. We'll speak about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also like the willingness to play forward. Like there's times when I've seen Romeo Lavia take the ball and he's had to take it with his back to goal sort of thing, his own half. And I just know that every other player just puts it then to the centre back or to one of the centre backs in the up three or whatever.
Yeah.
He will literally hang on to it a little bit longer so he can turn and get it forward. It's something that Cole Palmer does well, and I think actually the willingness to do that in our team and the capabilities to do that can be a little bit far and few between sometimes. So it's one thing that I really, really like for him. And I think that obviously we're going to see Enzo Fernandez push a little bit forward now. But if it doesn't start to work and they do start to think they're going to drop Enzo Fernandez back deeper, I'm just going to put it out there. I don't care about the price tag and people are thinking, oh, you know, you're being salty or whatever. I think Enzo Fernandez is a really, really good player, yeah? And obviously I've spoke about him at times and said that I think he needs to do a little bit more, and I still think he needs to do a little bit more, but there is middle ground in life. You can feel someone needs to do a little bit more, but still feel they're a terrific little player, to quote Harry Redknapp. But at the minute, I've got to say Romeo Lavia is going to be the option that I'd have there if it's between those two.
I favour him as well.
Yeah.
I think it is that simple. His performances in pre-season have meant that he should be starting. The forward passing alone, and we know that Enzo's strength really is in forward passing as well. But Lavia's distribution has just been far and away better. I think he's looked the player in which we expected Enzo to be.
Yeah.
And he's younger and by the sound of it, by the way, mate, he's making some very good noises. Like he did an interview recently where he said he's going and speaking with the under-18s and the under-21 players, really trying to improve them. And also he said that even if he gets injured for the next 8 years, he's still got 2 years left on his contract because he's got an unbelievably long contract and he'll still keep fighting for Chelsea. So I love his mentality.
Yep.
And I do think over time, Lavia's got that ability to get considerably better than what he is now.
Yeah.
And I think he has the sort of the drive to actually achieve that potential, whereas some other players that we've got in the squad might not ever achieve the potential that we thought they were going to. So I thought he's been really exciting.
Ceiling's high for Lavia.
What about any other positives?
Well, the only other, if we're speaking about specific players that I would speak about here would be Nkunku.
Yeah.
Because you say that Lavia's been the standout, and I really do think that he has, and it's clutching at straws really between the two of them. But what I would say is Lavia did have that one game. Was it Celtic? It was Celtic, wasn't it?
I think so.
So he looked really good against Wrexham.
Yeah.
He looked good in moments against Celtic, but did have a couple of key errors in that game. Then again, saying that, who don't in our midfield? Do you know what I mean? Like Caicedo has an error in him, and I still think he's a really good player.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying he was bad in that game. Unreal against Club America, and solid to good against Man City.
Yeah.
And probably going to open his scoring account for Chelsea against Inter Milan. So there you go.
I think even that Celtic game, he was with Reece James, and that was the game. Was that the game where Wesley Fofana was pushing up and becoming a number 10/presser? I felt that basically Lavia was isolated in a way in which Reece James had to drop into that position. Fofana was pushing so high up, and he was like a single pivot. And we know that in this system, a single pivot, you're so isolated, you're going to get passed around. So even then, I think there was a mitigating circumstance for his performance. So I think that's credit to him. But going back to Nkunku, what is it? Is it 3 goals and an assist in the 5 games of pre-season that we've seen thus far? I think it's something like that.
I remember.
So, I mean, he's played so well. And you have to say, with Cole Palmer coming into this team and not necessarily being match fit, Christopher Nkunku is the one that you really do back now to be the difference maker.
Mate, think about when them two are fit and play together.
Well, we've got to do a video where we discuss what we think is going to be the best team going forward. You know, we should do that. But I do think trying to fit Nkunku and Palmer in when they basically want to play in similar areas is very interesting, and it shows that we've got amazing quality. I do think that Palmer's best position in this system is going to be as the number 8, and I also think Nkunku's best position is that number 8. And I don't think you're going to play both of them in that area
because of a lack of
defensive ability.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you basically want one of them to be able to be a holder if they need to drop in. And that's why Caicedo.
You've got to find a way to get them both in the same team, mate.
What, Palmer and Nkunku?
They're two.
There's 2 beautiful solutions. There's one where, you know, Nkunku is the number 8 and Palmer's on the right. But I think Maresca is going to be reticent to put Palmer on the right because of his 1v1 ability. Like, I know he can beat players, but he's not known as a sort of a pace merchant.
I feel like he really likes Noni.
Yeah, I think he does.
Enzo
So this is where I think the system is going to go. I think that Palmer will end up being the 8. Noni will be the winger on the right-hand side. And I think Nkunku will end up playing on the left-hand side, sorry.
Okay.
I think that's how it's going to go.
They've tried him there.
They have tried him there. And I tell you what hasn't worked for me, and I think this is what pre-season is very revealing for Christopher Nkunku. I don't think the false 9 works. And it's very revealing that we're bringing in Omarodion, but we're also... I don't know if you've heard this. They're saying that is a 3rd/second striker. They still want another one. You heard that?
I've heard it, but I think it all sort of hinges on this Osman loan deal thing. I don't think it happens, but I can tell you one thing guaranteed if it does happen.
Go on.
Deadline day.
What, you reckon Osman will be deadline day?
That's what it'll be.
And do you think, put your balls to the wall now, do you reckon it will be a loan or do you reckon it will be a permanent?
Probably a loan.
Yeah, I reckon it probably will be a loan. You know?
You think of someone like the big name strikers that Chelsea have signed in the past, obviously not under Clearlake.
Yeah.
João Felix, if you class him as one. But a few of them have been loans, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like
Falcao.
Higuain, Falcao. Was Higuain a loan?
Yeah, Higuain. At the start it was. Didn't we sign him after that?
Wasn't Loic Remy a loan as well?
Well, yeah, fuck. Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know for sure. There you go. Esteemed company.
Yeah, there you go. Inter Milan.
Yes. We got to talk about this.
One thing I worry about them is they got the French lad up top now, haven't they? And he's quick. He's rapid.
Do you mean Thuram?
I never know how to say it. I always say Furman. And people
But he's a son of Lilian.
People give me pelters
You
on
don't
this
remember?
channel.
You don't remember Lilian Thuram?
Thuram, yeah.
That's his son.
No way.
Yes.
Is it actually?
Yes, it is.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
really?
Yeah,
That's blown my
Small
mind.
world. Any other father-son footballers that you really enjoy?
Mate, I'll give you one that will blow your fucking
Go on, then.
mind right now.
Go on.
Not father-son.
Go on.
Cousins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
This is going to blow
I'm
your
strapped
mind.
in. Is it? Okay. Can I guess? Is it so obvious when you do one?
You will never guess it.
Do one cousin and I'll try and guess the other one for fun.
Okay. Who is Mark Viduka's cousin?
Chris Wood.
Luka Modric.
No, it's not.
I told you that was going to blow your mind. You
It's
look it
not
up.
you bullshitter.
Look it up. All right, look it up. Look it up. Look it
So
up.
what's the connection there? What's the connection? Are they first cousins?
Viduka's dad is Croatian
Yeah.
and mum is Australian.
Okay.
Viduka's dad came over. He's looking in the iPad now because he doesn't believe me.
No, I'm not Googling
Viduka's
it.
dad
I'm
came
not Googling
over
it.
and saying, and then somehow Modric's his cousin.
Right.
Look it up. Look
Right.
it up. Look it up.
Everyone in the comments that is laughing at me right now for believing that, I don't believe it.
Okay.
Is that true?
Mate? I've read
Do
it
you
on the
swear?
internet.
Oh, okay.
I've read it on the internet.
Okay,
I've read it on the internet.
then it must be true.
Yeah. But back to Inter Milan.
I'm very excited for this game.
I think we're going to beat them. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what though, they're on semi decent form. Had a look at the form.
Yeah.
They won their first two games. Then that was followed by a draw against Pisa. Have you ever heard of
Leaning
that?
Tower of Pisa.
Have you ever? Oh, Pisa. It would be like that, isn't it? Pisa. I was thinking it was pizza. Oh, mate.
I'm sorry, guys. That has done me. The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Although
I'm gonna have a pizza.
Although I did hear they got cooked in that game. Hey,
It's very
there you go.
different.
Wait,
It's very
always
different.
good to play the smaller clubs because it can bring them in a bit of dough. You got any?
Anyone? No, I haven't. I'm not as good at the dad jokes as you are, unfortunately.
Nah. Oh, I heard they picked up a couple of injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently they were falling like dominoes.
If you can get Papa John's in there, I'll be very impressed.
Papa John's. Oh,
No.
I got no more.
No.
I tell you what, we move on from the pizza jokes because they can be a bit cheesy, can't they?
Awful. Absolutely awful.
They
won their first three games,
mate.
by the way.
I'm on fucking form, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. You are. They
yeah.
won their first three games, by the way. They played Lugano in the first game.
Josh,
Don't get.
don't care.
No.
to quote Nigel Farage.
Boring.
Boring.
What a quote. What a meme.
But
they did lose
to our old friends.
Yeah.
Weren't we in their stadium?
I don't think it was their stadium. I
Was
think
it
it was a
not
different
their stadium?
club.
No,
I think it was a different
no.
club.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? No, it wasn't Etihad.
Al Ittihad.
I think it was a different club.
Who have got Moussa Diaby
Benzema
and Benzema
and Fabinho.
and Kante.
There you go. Pretty good squad, eh?
Mate,
Pretty
if
good
you
squad.
stick that team in the Champions League,
Yeah.
that Al Ittihad
They
team,
probably do pretty well.
gets out of the group, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
Gets out of the
I
group.
think it does.
It probably
They won the
gets,
league, didn't
it
they?
probably gets through the first knockout stage.
I think
as
they
well.
won. I think they won the league,
Yeah.
so quite considerably.
Big
But
up the Saudis.
But that Inter team was relatively close to their first team. It wasn't their first team. What's interesting with Inter, I was looking at the team lineups. They haven't really played a lot of their first team players in the first three games, at least. They're only just getting their first team players back now, which is interesting. Their Serie A starts at the same time as we do. So they're starting a bit later than us, which is revealing in itself. I'm expecting them to be slightly behind where we are in terms of fitness, which should help.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully.
Well,
Hope so.
saw what happened with Celtic against us.
Do you reckon we get onto team sheets?
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't ask this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway
Go on,
because he's
do
not
it.
on my team sheet because too soon. Do you reckon?
Too soon?
Do you reckon we see the star boy?
I don't think Cucurella will be involved in this game. No, I don't think he will.
Those luscious locks.
Were you talking about Cole Palmer or were you
Yeah,
actually talking about
no,
Cucurella?
talking about Cole Palmer.
Okay.
Do you reckon we'll see him?
I mean,
we'll see him.
Let's just say, though, Cucurella. I've already seen him today in the training pictures. He looks exquisite. The
Really?
hair dye has gone out, so he's back to the.
I was hoping.
He's
Yeah,
back to
but
the
do you know what? Do you know what? You can't really have red hair playing for Chelsea.
You can't, but also we've got an load of orange on our kit, so you probably could.
And as well, like, do what you want, mate.
Can we also? I would quite like to see Mark Cucurella do the Romania 1998. Was it 1998 where they did that?
What, when they
dyed their hair
it
bleach blonde?
Blonde, yeah.
I think that'd be quite fun.
Yeah.
Didn't Nicholas Jackson have a lovely blue streak in his hair in the game?
Had bleach blonde hair.
Go on.
Eminem. Be great to see him live, wouldn't it?
Haven't you seen him before? You've never seen him. Have you ever seen him in person?
In person,
let me think.
Eminem, what global superstar, one of the most famous.
I don't know
men
why you'd ever be in the same room.
planet.
To be fair,
have I ever met him in?
No.
Oh, yes. Sorry, this past weekend. Yeah.
What was your favourite song out of the set that he performed?
I really like the new one, Houdini.
Yeah, you did like
but
that.
If I'm going favourite Eminem songs, my favourite would be The Way I Am. The Way I Am.
There was a beautiful moment in this live stream. If you haven't seen it, it's about 4.5 hours in. If you do want to go and see it, it's on the Pain Game YouTube channel. Joey was there watching the Eminem concert. Bear in mind, we're on a live stream. It's going out to thousands of people, and there are cameras in front of all the boys watching them. What Joey does is he turns his back, he has his drink in his hand, and he's singing at the top of his lungs. Cameretti, you are an utmost professional.
Listen, in that moment, sometimes you gotta just,
I love it.
You gotta go with the flow.
I think everyone was the same, by the way, so I don't think that was your issue.
Oh, we were having it. What?
I've got
trip,
a great video
mate.
of Travis just dancing his heart out
Mate,
to that moment.
I have got to say that's one of the best trips I've ever been on in my life.
Yeah.
Unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. LA is very fun. Any viewers in LA, I'm jealous.
You know what the best part of all of it is?
What was it, man? What was it?
See if you can guess. See how well you know me. What was my favourite thing?
I think the lobster roll was your favourite thing.
You're a fucking legend. How did you know?
You just didn't shut up about it,
mate. Toasted brioche bun, right?
Yeah.
Little bit of seafood sauce just spread on it. I didn't make this. They made it, but I had it.
You had it quite a few times.
Once or twice a day. Right. Toasted brioche bun.
Yeah.
Little bit like seafood sauce spread on it.
Yeah.
And then they've used the claw rather than the body of the lobster. And mate, they've been generous with them portions as well. I was cutting little bits off for Brian, and whatever. And mate, honestly,
literally the first thing you just said is this is the best thing I've had in ages.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing, right? You lot all believe that Josh is way smarter than me, yeah?
Yeah, it's not true.
Given fact on the channel that Josh is way smarter than me.
No.
What's Branzino?
I've got no idea. Again, in the chat, don't tell them. In the chat, let us know what Branzino is. Because if you do, you're a smart man.
There was something on the menu that was Branzino and something else, which
don't say it because I want to guess.
On the menu, there was something called Branzino.
Yeah.
And this man,
I had no fucking clue. I'd never heard of it.
Clue what it was.
I think that's an Americanism. I don't know if that's actually the term. We'd probably call it something else.
Well, let's anyway get on to our team sheets. So right now on screen, you can see my team sheet. So we've gone for Jorgensen in goal. Definitely want to see him in there over Sanchez. And I do think it's pretty much make or break in this match. Whoever we see in this match, unless he subs him at half-time, which he was doing at the start of the pre-season, but hasn't really done as much. Whoever we see in goal in this match is probably going to start on the opening day against Manchester City. So I'd rather see Jorgensen. Now, with his feet, I already rate Jorgensen as being better with his feet than Robert Sanchez. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
However, I'm not going to jump the gun and say that he's a better shot stopper than Robert Sanchez just yet, purely because we haven't actually seen him tested enough, have we?
I mean, he has conceded a few goals.
Yeah.
So I think you could argue he should have been tested.
Yeah, but then
potentially.
Yeah, but then Sanchez has conceded a few goals as well. So
yeah, but
there you go.
He hasn't had to make wonder saves. I agree with you.
Yeah. On the back line. This
is mental.
Is it mental?
This is mental.
Okay, so we have gone Malo Gusto, Tosin Adarabioyo, and Levi Colwell. Now, let me tell you why.
What are you thinking?
We are getting beat behind for pace all the time. And the teams that are playing us are finding it very, very easy to do so. Who is the fastest defender at Chelsea Football Club?
Chilwell.
No in it. Fastest in the DMs. No.
Do you know what? It might be Disassi, actually.
Disassi is...
It might be.
I've actually read the list.
Go on.
Disassi's the slowest.
Bollocks.
Disassi's the
What,
slowest.
as in acceleration or top speed?
Top speed.
As in top speed clocked in a game or top speed total?
Top speed clocked in a game from last season, and then I had to put Wesley Fofana in there because he didn't play last season.
Okay,
Yeah?
fine. Yeah, go on. Who is the top?
So, top is Malo Gusto.
Okay.
Second top, and only like a fraction behind Malo Gusto, is...
Toss him.
Tosin Adarabioyo.
Yeah. I got loads of shit, by the way, for everyone in the comments. I said that he was slow.
Yeah, no, he's not slow, though.
He's. I don't think his acceleration is incredibly fast.
Okay, maybe.
Like
yeah.
when he's on a half turn and then having to get up to speed.
Yeah.
I worry about it.
Yeah. And then it was...
Definitely wasn't Levi Colwill next.
No. Then it was Reece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it was Chile. Then it was Badia Shield. Then it was Levi Colwill, second slowest, and Disassi, I'm pretty sure, was the slowest.
And Fofana wasn't in there because he didn't have any data.
Oh, sorry. Fofana
Yeah.
was third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rate Fofana's pace,
However,
even though he has got injured.
yeah. What do we say about Brower? Once he came back,
He wasn't the same. That's why I'm
not
worried
just
about
he
with
wasn't the
Fofana.
same. What was
he
the
didn't
mo-
have
what
the
was the-
pace.
he
The
didn't
pace
have the
was the first
He
thing
didn't
to
have
go.
the pace.
And also, he didn't want to use the pace just in case he got injured
there
again.
you go.
Yeah.
So you got to take the Fofana thing with a pinch of salt. You
Fair
got to take
enough.
the Reece James thing with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember where Cucurella was. To be honest, I should have got the graphic up. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
the fastest two by some considerable distance
Yeah.
were Malo Gusto and Tosin Adarabioyo. Now, pre-season, I get that I've just said winning games is important, but there still is an element of experimentation that needs to go on here. So I do think that maybe we try Malo Gusto out there. Now, physically, you might look at him and you might go, oh, no, he can't play in a back three. But I tell you what, and I know I just sound like I'm rimming him all the time, but Cucurella,
Wow.
Cucurella has shown that he can play in a back three, and he's not
Yeah.
physically too dissimilar to a Malo Gusto. I think that Malo Gusto offers quite good defence in one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Pacing behind, definitely.
Yeah.
Obviously, it would be a case of losing some to gain a little bit, and what you would lose is maybe the attacking threat from him and whatnot. And as you can see in this team, I've not actually gone with an inverted fullback. One thing I do say, though, I did it in one of my last starting lineups, is one man we have seen invert, just not for Chelsea yet, but saw him do it, and do it a considerable amount.
Do it very well.
Do it very well, and a considerable amount is Caicedo, isn't it?
Which is interesting because you've put him on the wrong side then.
What?
If he's going to invert, he needs to be on the left.
Yeah. Don't know about that.
So, but for clarity and for what everyone means, you want him on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you fucked that, Josh, haven't you? No, I'm joking. No.
But I just want to let them know because he would be on the left for you. He would have to be.
But then I'll tell you what. Do you remember when they played Gusto inverted?
Yeah.
He was on the left.
Yeah, but you can't have Gusto and Caicedo on the same side.
I know.
But that's fine. The graphic is beautiful.
Don't worry.
There's nothing wrong with the
fine.
graphic, Joey.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm not planning on inverting him.
Are you...
I'm not planning on inverting him. I'm not planning on having an inverted fullback in this system. What I'm planning on doing very clearly is having two more defensively minded players in that midfield. And for that reason, I don't really feel like you need an inverted fullback. I think with those three at the back and those and Lavia and Caicedo there, I think you're actually all right.
Yeah.
Then we're going to put Enzo Fernandez and Nkunku there. Now, obviously, as the patterns of play move, as the game moves or whatever, you might see Enzo Fernandez come a little bit more central. And then you might just see Nkunku just sort of roam and drift around the edge of that area.
Yeah.
Sticking with Noni Madueke on the right, Raheem Sterling on the left, and Mark Gu through the middle. If Nicholas Jackson had any sort of minutes at all, I would be starting Nicholas Jackson in this match. But let's see. Really impressed by Mark Gu in the early stages of pre-season.
Yeah.
A little bit quieter in the Man City game, but he's coming up
harder
against Man
opposition.
City. Yeah.
Yeah. I think what is revealing though in this, in that what we've just discussed about strikers, I think there's a chance that Mark Hugh might not even be involved in the squad this year.
Yeah, I think there's a chance he goes out on loan because
Which is
we have
which
bought
is
the new
mental.
boy.
We've just
and we
seen
will
him
be
play so
speaking
much.
about the signing
Yeah.
of Samu in tomorrow's
next
video.
video, yeah.
Tomorrow's video, next video. So we will speak about that. We'll speak about all the transfer stuff, all the Conor Gallagher stuff, the whole strategy that's going on at the moment with Chelsea Football Club. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. But that is my lineup.
Can I ask a question on the lineup?
You can ask any question you want.
Where's Reece?
I'm glad you asked that question because here is Josh's lineup, ladies and gentlemen.
What deflection!
Hold on.
What deflection that was!
Hold on,
What-
Josh. Josh, can I ask a question on that lineup?
Please do.
Where's Reece?
Well, I've got a completely different rationale to your team, Joey. My team that I'm selecting for this game.
Don't use big words and think that's going to get you out of trouble, Mr. Rationale.
My team selection for this game is based on the team that I would want to start against Manchester City.
So you don't want Reece to start against Man City?
Well, Joey, what's the fact that we need to know about Reece James?
Oh, yeah, cool. He's banned, isn't he?
Did you
but
know that?
I still want him to
Why
start.
didn't you start him?
I
in
still
your team?
want him to start.
Why didn't you start him in your team?
It's a conversation.
Oh my
I
God,
don't
you've
wanna
actually
have.
just dropped him.
No, I've just dropped him. Yeah.
Oh! One of our best players. You've just sacked him off immediately.
I've not sacked him
Might as well
off.
sell him if you don't want to play him in this game,
I've
mate.
not sacked him off immediately.
Might as well just say he's done.
No, he's not
At Chelsea.
done. No, he's not
Might
done.
as well just sell him to Real Madrid.
He's not done. He's had a
You
lot-
would sell him for 50 million to Real Madrid, wouldn't you?
I would not sell him for
Well,
any
then why are you not
price.
playing him?
Because I want to experiment with this and I feel like we're getting beaten behind on that back line too quick. And although I did say that Reece is one of the faster players at the club, he is coming back from injury. And let's just be honest, he hasn't had the most impressive pre-season so far. So I think maybe sitting him out for that first half, experimenting with Malo Gusto there, and then bringing him on in the second half. Remember, we know there's going to be loads of subs, so it's not like I'm dropping him and leaving him out of this game.
Yeah.
But I'm not having him in my starting lineup just for this one. Is he still my favourite Chelsea player? Yes.
He's not your favourite Chelsea player at all. I don't think he's in your top two.
He's
not.
He's second.
He's not.
He is. He's second.
He's not.
Why? Who's?
There should be three other players above him. In
You
your
know who my
favourite
favourite
Chelsea
Chelsea player is?
Cucurella.
No.
Cole Palmer.
Begins with C. Not Cucurella.
Conor Gallagher.
Not Cole Palmer. Not Conor Gallagher. But, begins with T.
It's Cucurella.
No. Trevor Chalobah. He's my favourite Chelsea player. More
well,
sentimental.
Currently.
Yeah.
As of the time of recording, he's your favourite Chelsea player. It won't be for long.
God. But yeah. So, I don't know.
Do you think there's a small chance that he randomly starts this game?
What, Trev? Oh, I'd fucking love it if he did. I'd love it if he did.
Can you imagine that? Redemption arc.
Clearly, he'd just sack Maresca straight away, wouldn't they? Right, let's look at your lineup.
Yes,
because
come on, here we go. The
need to
actual
round
lineup.
up this video.
The actual lineup.
So
right,
you
Jorgensen in
have
goal.
gone with the inverted left back and you've made it Malo Gusto next to Romeo Lavia.
I've gone for Fofana as the Reece James replacement because, as you said, he's pacey. I like Tosin in the middle of the back four and I want Cole on the left. And then, I've gone for the inverted Gusto and Lavia next to each other. I do think there's a small chance in which it isn't Gusto and it's Cucurella.
Okay.
So I've gone Gusto or Cucurella. I would actually like to see Cucurella start this game because I think getting some minutes in his legs and using him and experimenting in this game would actually be useful. And we can see how he plays in this system before the start of the season. What I think it will mean is if you don't see Cole Palmer and you don't see Cucurella involved significantly in this game, they will not start against Man City. So just saying.
Okay.
And again, I'll preface everything that I said. I've said this already, but this team is the team that I pretty much expect to see against Manchester City. And that's why I'm starting them in this game because I want to see how well they perform. Because if they don't perform, then they're not playing in that game.
Well, you say that. We might see Samu against Man City.
I don't think we will because I think Nicholas Jackson will be back.
Hopefully he'll be back.
Yeah.
Hopefully he features in this game.
Yeah.
Explain to me Caicedo's position here because people will see that and they'll notice that he's playing way higher than we normally see him.
Yeah, I do think when you've got as an attacking front four that you've got in that team right there, I think you do need some defensive solidity. And also, again, I'm thinking against Man City, you're going to need bodies in the box and bodies in the defensive box as well. So I want to see Caicedo being the sort of the number 8 that bombs up and down, box-to-box midfielder. And I feel, again, when you've got a player like, for example, Gusto wants to bomb on and get forward, and you then have some defensive solidity with Caicedo dropping in. You got to remember, when you play a 4-2-3-1, you have 4 attackers, don't you? You have 2 holding midfielders and 4 defenders. I think if you mirror that system here, I think you're going to be better off. So that's the reason why I've gone for Caicedo. I also think that Caicedo can fill in that backwards area, the back left sort of block if we need to, bearing in mind that Lavia can push up. So that's why I've gone for that. And then it enables Nkunku, like in your team, I think this is where our teams are the most similar, actually. You allow Nkunku to really bomb up and get forwards.
Yep.
And he can have a bit more of a free role, with Caicedo being that sort of, they call it in Football Manager terms, a secundo volante.
Oh, the secundo volante.
Yeah, you're a big fan of the secundo volante,
I love
aren't you?
that.
Then I've got Christopher Nkunku. I want to see him continuing that number 8 role. I feel that that's where he's been best for us, although I do think the future of him for Chelsea is on the left-hand side, especially if we don't sign a winger, which I do expect we will do, especially on the left-hand side. Then I think Noni Madueke, we're talking about best players in pre-season. He's got a similar amount of goals and assists to Christopher Nkunku, so he should be starting.
Yep.
I think he's been anonymous in one game, but other than that, I thought he's been exquisite. I've also gone for Mark Hugh, but there's a very large chance actually in this game that we see more of a false 9, I think. And potentially we see someone random playing there, like a Sterling or...
Wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw Nkunku through the middle in this game.
Agreed.
And
maybe...
despite us saying that we don't think that's his best position, he didn't fare bad there.
I just think do you know what, mate? I actually disagree. I think he's been fairly anonymous there. Whenever I've seen him play there, even last season, I think we don't get the best out of him. I feel like he sort of hides in games.
He is a little bit wasted there.
Yeah.
So let's go on to your score prediction. I'll go with my one first.
Go on.
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. I think back at the Bridge, we're having the home fans behind us. Listen, the Americans have done absolutely great in turning out and supporting them, but it just hits different, Stamford Bridge.
It does.
And I think with those home fans behind us now really warming into it, as you say, maybe Inter Milan, fitness-wise, a little bit lacking compared to us.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a win here. I think it's going to be a 2-1 win. We're going to see off pre-season in good fashion, and all roads to Man City. What are you saying for scoreline?
Well, Levi Cole also said the same thing about the atmosphere, and he's looking forward to getting back to Stamford Bridge, which is exciting, and good to see him saying something like that as well, because he sort of endears himself to the fans a bit more, even so, than he is. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this game. I think Inter Milan, Italian team, they will be tighter defensively than we've played thus far in pre-season. And I don't think without a Nicholas Jackson or a Samu, I don't think we're going to be as potent as we expect up top. So I'm going to go for a solid and a more conventional 1-1 draw than some of the other pre-season games we've seen.
Fair play. People, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Give us your team sheets if you've got time. Score predictions, definitely. Also, make sure you are subscribed to Josh's channel. It is linked in the description, as is Supreme CBD, as is our bespoke link where you can go and buy yourself this beautiful Chelsea kit. If you go to the mega store by clicking the link, it knows you've come through us, and that means you will get 10% off. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all in the next one.